Hey folks, it is the Nutty Knife Guy, and I'm going to bring you a knife today. Bet you didn't see that coming. This is a knife that I hate. This is a knife that I really wanted to like, but I hate. And I hate it because it's kind of frustrating. It is the Schrade SCH110 with it's 7.8 inch. Let me get this right here. It has scroll 7.8 inches overall length with a 3.2 inch blade of 9 CR18 MOV high carbon stainless steel. There she is. Now this is a good looking beast, is it not? I have a phone going off. It has to go now. Okay, sorry about that. Anyway, good looking beast. A well built. I like the open pillar construction on this knife. Good steel. Pretty thick blade. G10 scales. Good blade centering. I just did the tabletop wrap test for a good lockup. So a very quality built knife. Good materials, good workmanship, but uncomfortable as hell to use. I haven't war posted it yet, or as one of my subscribers put in a comment, put it to the post. I like that. I have not put this to the post, and I'm going to for you guys. But this is another one of those Karambits that somebody thought was just a hawkbill knife with a ring on it. I covered that in my video. It's a Karambit, damn it. Holding it like a Karambit is not only uncomfortable, it's actively unpleasant. Even if you're not even gripping it tightly. There are just hot spots everywhere. This entire edge of the scales comes to a very acute angle, as do the insides of the liners. And holding it like so, you can feel them biting into your fingers. And it's the same problem with the inside of the ring. If you're doing manipulations and extensions, you can actually feel these things sawing into your finger a little bit. Prolonged use, and I dare say, especially if you're slashing at a target, probably wouldn't cut your finger, but I dare say it'd leave a mark. And it is extremely uncomfortable. The only comfortable way I have found to use this thing is holding it like this. Now you look at the way, I guess I'll have to do it this way. You look at the way the fingers engage with the blade here. It's obvious that they designed this thing to be used like this and not even use the ring. Even if you put your pinky in the ring, it's wrong, and it is very uncomfortable. This is another one of those knives. This was released a few years ago when everybody was getting on the jumping on the Karambit bandwagon and not really giving us knives that would be used. The Karambits, they were giving us hawkbills with a ring on them, and this is no different. Going on with that point, this came with a pocket clip on it. I took it off because it made it even more uncomfortable, and you couldn't use the pocket clip and carry it, so it could be taken out of the pocket quickly and deployed as a Karambit. It has to be carried this way for a right-handed person, and this way if it's a left-handed person. It's tip up, tip down reversible, but it's not left or right hand reversible. So what you get, if you carry it with the ring out, and you're right-handed, right, you wind up drawing the blade like this, and this is the way you wind up deploying it. If you deploy it ring down or tip down, the ring is not in your pocket, so you would have, and this thing is a fighting knife. There's not a whole lot else you can do with a Karambit other than personal protection from lizardmen, zombie ninjas. It's yeah, I mean, it's a knife. It'll cut. You can use it for other things, but it's really a personal protection knife. That's what this is all about, and they don't give you a way to carry it with a pocket clip in a manner where it could be deployed with a relative amount of speed that you need for a personal protection tool. So yeah, it's just very uncomfortable to wield unless you're holding it like a hawkbill. Now look at this. They have a tremendous amount of jimping here for the thumb when you're holding it like this. I mean, this way, if you wanted to use it this way, the ring does kind of lock into your hand quite a bit and stick out, and you can. And if I was going to deal with a bunch of lizardman zombie ninjas with this particular knife, this is the way I would use it. But it's supposed to be a Karambit, and this way is just horrible. It's not only, like I said, it's not only uncomfortable, it's unpleasant. It's unpleasant just to hold this thing. And it's frustrating because it is such a nicely made knife. So I'm going to war post it. I'm not looking forward to war posting it or having it put to the post because it is very uncomfortable. However, I expect it to pass all the tests because it seems to be very well done. So with that, I'm going to take it out to the war post. A little chilly out there, so I got to throw it on a jacket or something. But I will see you in the next segment. Alright guys, the Schrade SCH110, if I remember correctly. Here you go again before meeting the war post. And the water bottle, do the water bottle first. Okay, that was not the best slash in the world, but that was my fault, not the knife's. Okay, yeah. That just opened it way up. And there's not enough water in it, it's going to retreats. But that still got it, but boy, that hurts every time I do that. Yeah, there's not enough water in there to really hold it now. No marks there, but that just having it in that ring, just doing those slashes, is extremely unpleasant. Let's try the war post. See if I can really turn my hand up. Now, Karambit has to have a sharp, nice, strong tip, because it's designed to pierce and rip, and so that's what we're going to do with the war post. Make sure it'll do that. Boy, that hurts. I mean, not agony, but enough to be annoying. Okay. And that'll hurt my knuckles when I miss. Okay, like I said, this is a well-made knife. Not a problem with the tip at all. I can't really go for broke like this on like I do a regular knife. Let's try the lock up. Not a problem there. The finish is actually holding up quite well. I don't know if you can see that or not, but that actually bit into that wood and ripped out really well. Yeah, I mean, this looks like it's pristine. You know, rinse this off a little bit and you can't even tell I did all of that with it. But it is really hard on the hands. The texturing even is kind of nasty on the hands. It's got this little nub on here, and I'll see if I can break a knuckle, because this is designed to be used as a striking surface. Yeah, that did. I don't know if you can see, but I got a nice red mark where that's using that thing. This thing, it's tough and it's well made when it just comes to materials, but the design is just piss poor. So we'll go back in and I'll give you my final thoughts. I'll bet you'll guess what, we can't guess what those will be, huh? Okay, folks, back down in the bunker. As I predicted, this thing held up very well. There's not even any scratches on the blade that I can detect, even after going through those water bottles. Now, water bottle. Now I have the bottle that I used. Now some of the strikes after the water went out, there just wasn't enough. After the water ran out, there wasn't enough mass to hold it together when I struck. This small one here is the first attempt, and that was really my problem. My mistake. I didn't judge the distance correctly, but that was still a pretty good gash. Now the second one here, if you look from the bottom, it went from here, it comes from all the way here, and I slashed through. So what happened was I penetrated all the way in like this and then ripped out. So I mean, in that respect, this does exactly what this kind of a blade is supposed to do. Deep, horrible gashes of wounds. But it hurt to do all of that. Thrusting, because if you're, like I said, I'm using it as it was intended to, like a karambit. When you have your finger in the retention hole, and I apologize for the ambient noise there, like people existing upstairs. But you have things in here that almost qualify as sharp. And anytime, and you come up here, when I made my thrust here, it jams the finger moves around in here and gets jammed up against those hot spots. The slashing, it's the same thing. This whole thing, the finger jams up here. This creates a hot spot on the pinky. This creates a hot spot here. The jimping, not the jimping, but the texturing is very aggressive. When you bear down on the knife, it is really, really uncomfortable. And also, something you should be aware of is that the pocket clip is tight. And if you do try to use the pocket clip, every time you take it out, you're going to be tearing the crap out of the lip of your pocket. Frustrating, because it is such a well-made knife and it looks so good. But the only way it is comfortable is to hold it like this. And as I said, it's got jimping here. This is obviously where the thumb choil is supposed to be. Whoever designed this knife thought it was supposed to be held like this. It's the only conclusion that you can come to. Or in reverse grip like this without using the hole, because it has jimping here. If you're using if you got your thumb in the hole, you can't even really reach that jimping. The knuckle duster thing, very painful to use, and I was only jabbing. If you really went at somebody like that with this thing, that would hurt a lot. Now, as a personal protection knife, you probably wouldn't be using this in a prolonged manner, but it would get painful in a hurry if you did. And even if it doesn't, even if the encounter with Lizardman Zombie Ninja isn't prolonged, when there are other things available, like say this bad boy, This is a Malasong outdoor claw. I got this about 2 weeks ago now, maybe a little shorter than that. This is, I love, as much as I dislike this knife, okay, let's call it what it is. As much as I hate this knife, I love this knife. This is what a Karambit is supposed to be, and I will do a full review on this. Okay, but they understood how a Karambit is used. Okay, whoever designed this didn't. Now, I've had this on my wanna-buy list for a long time, but some guys did a tabletop review, and even in a tabletop review said it was very uncomfortable and unwieldy. But I think at least that I could find. I couldn't find anybody else on YouTube that had actually tested this knife. In testing, it actually hurts to use. Even the water bottle cuts. When you use it like that, excuse me, this thing hurts, and the liner bar with the jimping protrudes enough where it can really dig into your hands. So why use a personal protection knife that hurts you as well as your adversary? This comes under what were you thinking? And what they were thinking was a hawkbill knife with a ring on it. And yeah, you could use this for this one. It does look nasty, and it would do the job, but there are so many better options out there for hawkbills in particular, and knives in general, that aren't Karambits. I don't know what else to say. I can't recommend this knife in its present form. Now, when I first started looking at these, excuse me, I'm pretty sure that they were like $30. This was only $15. And if I get the time and the ambition, I might make a project out of this knife and see if I can make it wieldable. Get some files and some sandpaper and start dealing with all of these hot spots and really angular ridges. Definitely I like to take some sandpaper and smooth out the inside of the ring. But honestly, folks, even for $15, if you're really looking at it as a personal protection tool, not worth it. Cannot recommend it. There are better options out there for folding Karambits. Yeah, a lot of them cost more, but if it's a personal protection tool, you don't want anything that hurts you, and this hurts you. Now, and that's all I can say about it. I don't even think that if somebody with smaller hands or larger hands, I don't think it's hand size. It's just the general design is uncomfortable, and I don't think that I have disliked a knife this much in quite a while. And I'm one of the reasons I dislike it so much is it is frustrating. It's frustrating because it is so well made. Well, there it is, folks. I will leave you with that. And my usual admonishment, too. Draw your knives only in just purpose. Sheathe them only with honor, and remember that without knives, life would be dull and pointless. Please like, share, and subscribe if you're of a mind to. That really makes me happy. And also, I'm going to, if I remember to do it this time, I'm going to put a link to the Nutty Knife Guy Facebook page. So if you're of a mind, go find me on Facebook. And I bid you good day.